January 19th, so it's got a little while left. I mean, China, it blew up in box office, so it's made a good fair amount. Have you seen the Ghostbusters trailer?
I have not, but I am... How do I want to put this? I am cautiously optimistic.
It's not a sequel to the last one that came out.
It's
a sequel to the second one.
Right, to the...
It's been confirmed that it's set in the original universe.
Yeah, the original group.
With the original cast. Even the actors have came back and confirmed it. And in the trailer, it's like... kind of like that Back to the Future.
Okay.
When he goes back and winds up in that barn. There's this green lightning going off in a barn. And you see this tarp waving up and down.
And you see the Ecto back.
You go in there and you see... the van,
Ecto 1.
The Ecto 1 sitting there all dusty and grimy, and it's basically that's the teaser trailer. It's only
now
10-20 seconds long.
Now I don't think we're gonna get Egon because the gentleman who played Egon has actually passed away a few years ago.
Well, you're getting at least the 3.
Yeah, so you're still getting Ray, Peter, Winston, which I'm cool with. And say what you will about the last Ghostbusters movie that came out.
Never saw
it. You're not missing much. But
so I've heard.
Say what you will, I did like the fact that all the actors, most of the actors from the original duology, did make cameos. Not as their characters, but they at least showed up in the movie. Which, say what you will, I liked.
I don't know. The whole Thor thing in it. Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
he's playing the whole...
They played him way too...
stupid, in my opinion.
Well, in general. Again, I just saw the trailers.
Yeah, he was pretty stupid. I didn't really care for it, but I am hopeful for this new one. Do we need it? Maybe not. But... hopefully this will be...
It's a nostalgia trip. All we're getting is nostalgia. That's why Hasbro is coming back with like the G1 reissues. I'm not against it. I mean, I didn't grow up in the 80s. I didn't get the chance to get them at Toys R Us back in the 90s or the early 2000s.
Right.
I mean, I've only got the Hot Rod. I still need to get the Starscream, the Devastator, and then the new ones that are coming out.
Right.
But everything's just a nostalgia trip now. And then for the anime fans, the Gundam Narrative, or Gundam NT movie, is coming out in theaters in February. It's a Fathoms event. It's going to be the English dub, not the Japanese voice.
They're not doing an English sub. They're
not English sub. They're doing the English dub. And this is a Universal Century movie. So this is... I haven't even seen the Japanese movie. It's in Michigan, but it's not anywhere around here. It's all on the east side in the middle of the state.
Oh, of course.
Which I'm not going to drive to.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Which is upset because I do run that Gunpla Builders of Michigan group. Posted it on there, and a majority of them wanted to get a large group together and go, but so far on the west side of the state, we're not getting it. But if it's anything like the Transformers movie, then we might get a showing soon. Because, I mean, the only showing was in Grand Rapids. And then they released, like, a couple weeks before we went to go see it. One in Muskegon.
Yep.
So we could be lucky enough to get another one. Because they opened up another 300 showings for the Transformers movie. We might be able to get this one. I mean, we just got the Broly movie, which it was at Grand Haven 9. My mom showed me the showing for today when she was going to take my son to go see a movie.
Oh, that was
so
today.
Broly was in theaters at Grand Haven 9, which was shocking. It was at Grand Haven 9 and Cinema Carousel and Grand Rapids and all that. It was at like 2 p.m.
Oh.
So we missed it. I didn't even know about it. I thought it was like a one-day only thing because it said January 16th. I didn't know it was going to be multiple days because most Fathom events only happen one day only. But along with Gundam, there's a new Iron-Blooded Orphans spin-off series coming out.
Okay, now Iron-Blooded Orphans, I'm not familiar with.
It ended in 2017.
Okay.
It was set at the beginning on Mars after the 300-year Calamity War.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the pilots were able to like link into their suits and basically become more at one with them.
Okay.
And there was Gundam frames and everything like that. I mean, like the main character was Barbatos, which was the Gundam, and Miku, which was his pilot. And it was it was a very man TV show. Very manly.
Very masculine.
I mean, they're all children's soldiers, so like growing up on Mars on like a private military base, they're like super shredded. So there's a lot of shirtless scenes, but I mean, like, it was a very man TV show.
Right.
I held off finishing it because I ended up bawling my eyes out in the last 2-3 episodes. But this new one, they look like they're on a floating space colony heading towards Mars, and they're bringing back more Gundams. So it's set in the future because at the end of the first one, you see Miku's son show up, who looks just like him, but kind of blonde, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Not as mean looking either, but this new one is going to take place after the end of the first series. So I am looking forward to that. But I guess we can get into the reviews.
Okay.
Because, I mean, podcasts usually go for about an hour, but I do want to not overwhelm everybody. We've kind of blown through the news and stuff like that. But do you have anything?
Well, I was going to do Starlink, but Starlink I haven't finished yet.
Sounds fine.
What I have played of it, at least the Switch version, I have definitely enjoyed. I've been playing as Fox the whole time.
Have you bought the attachments?
I just have the starter pack attachments.
Okay. Because, yeah, I've been seeing the attachments at Meijer and Walmart and Target. Target, I think I saw them on sale a good couple times.
Which, for those of you who are not familiar with Starlink, the gimmick, I guess, of this game is that
Skylanders.
it's basically Skylanders, but with pilots and ships and weapons. I don't know what the controller is like for the PS4 and Xbox version.
You just plug this into your the port on the Switch, right?
It's got its own controller thing.
Yeah, but you plug it into the port onto the Switch, right?
No. It's... Okay, so for those of you who have a Switch, you know how you have the Joy-Con cradle controller thing. The Switch version of Skylanders has its own Joy-Con controller handle thing, but in the middle of it, instead of just that flat part, it's got the... how do I want to put this? It's got the spot where you can put your pilot and then your ship, and then on your ship you can put your weapons and stuff like that. And then that hooks up to your Switch.
You change out the pilot?
You can. You can change out the pilot, you can change out the ship, you can change out the weapons. Because the Switch version, the Switch starter pack, came with 2 pilots. One of them was a human. I can't remember his name. He was one of the normal characters for Starlink.
Generic human number 1.
Right. And then the other pilot was Fox McCloud. Now, the ship he got for the Switch version was the R-Wing from Star
Well, you
Fox.
can get the standard ship or the Fox ship.
Right, but for the starter pack, it came with...
Yeah, I've seen both versions for the Switch at the store.
Okay.
Along with, with the ports for the controllers, I've looked them up. It's just like a Turtle Beach plug-in. You just pop it in there and clip it on there. So you
Basically,
hold the controller and just do that.
Yeah.
That's how it is for the PS4 and the Xbox. So.
But then, so you just clip the pilot in, you clip the ship over them, and then you clip the weapons onto your ship if you want them. Which I think for a lot of the ships they might actually have, you might actually need that. I know with the R-Wing you don't necessarily need to, because they do have the laser cannons that come default on the R-Wing. But what I've played of Starlink is interesting. We do have cameos from not only Fox, obviously, as you play them.
Falcon, Wolf.
You do have Falco, you do have Slippy, you do have Peppy. Wolf actually shows up as in the Switch unique Star Fox mission storyline thing.
Okay. Does anybody tell you to do a barrel roll?
I believe so. Which is actually more of an aileron roll, but I'm not going to get into that. That's different discussion for a different time. And yes, you can do barrel rolls.
Well, I mean, why play a game if you can't do a barrel roll?
Why play Star Fox if you can't do a barrel roll?
That's true.
But the thing with Fox's teammates is you have your pilot abilities, which I don't know what all the different pilot abilities are. But with Fox, you can tap the left shoulder and summon one of the other Star Fox pilots for a limited duration to help you out in combat.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool, I think.
That's not too bad.
Right. And it's random every time, so you could get Slippy once, you could get Peppy the next time, you could get Falco after that, whatever. So that's pretty cool.
No, I don't have a good rating system. I can't think of anything.
Do we want to just go with the standard 1 out of 10? Or 1 to 10?
No, we're going to do... I was thinking 5. So, how many right-hand mittens out of 5 would you give it?
We're going with right-hand mittens?
Well, the name of the show, for one, is called Right.
Okay.
Which is my last name, everybody. I'm pretty sure I failed on mentioning that at the beginning, maybe not. Also, we live in Michigan. That's a right-handed glove.
Technically, you could use the back.
If you go and, hey, where do you live? You hold up your right hand, and you point here on the west side. I've never once seen anybody hold up their left hand upside down and point to the top of their hand. I've only ever seen people hold up the right hand.
Yeah, well, I'm weird like that.
All right.
So.
How many right mints out of 5?
I'd say... Okay, so I haven't completed the game. I'm going to say 3.5. For now. The game could get a heck of a lot better. I don't know. But 3.5, maybe 4 out of 5.
Okay. So, I just finished the entirety of the IDW Transformers comic book series. I started that back in October.
Okay.
Since we were going to TFCon, I wanted to read up more because a lot of the comic book artists were going to be there and writers and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
IDW started this after Dreamwave about 10 to 12 years ago.
Okay.
And they just ended it. And I started with phase 1. Well, when I started, I read the Transformers Robots in Disguise Volume 1, which took place just after the war ended.
Okay.
And they just got on Cybertron, and they're rebuilding Bumblebee and everything. So I got into that, and I'm like, all right, I'm interested. I didn't know the war ended, but okay, this is a jumping on point. It's split off into 2 series. There was Robots in Disguise and More Than Meets the Eye.
Okay.
Robots in Disguise followed Bumblebee, Prowl, Ironhide, the crew on Cybertron, trying to rebuild, establish order. The Decepticons apparently were in prison, but Decepticons.
Yeah.
And then More Than Meets the Eye followed Hot Rod, Ultra Magnus, Drift, Swerve, Cyclonus, and that crew on board the ship called the Lost Light in search of the Knights of Cybertron, their ancestors, to find Cybertopia, play on Utopia, with their half of the Matrix. Because when Optimus Prime opened up the power of the Matrix split in half. Optimus Prime took one half, Hot Rod took the other.
Okay.
Because apparently inside the Matrix there was a map to apparently Cybertopia. And they went off with that. And I started reading there. But back in October I decided to go back and start from the beginning, which was phase 1. There was 2 phases, phase 1, phase 2. Phase 2 was after the war, phase 1 was before the war. So at the beginning of it, the Autobots are already on Earth. They are in their base in Lake Michigan, at the bottom of Lake Michigan.
Oh, you're kidding me.
They go like into Chicago and into Wisconsin and into Michigan all the time, like in the first couple issues. Starscream couple of the Seekers and a couple